After 12 years in the UK, people always ask me, Leo, what is the main difference between British and Spanish people? It's not that Spanish food exists to make us happy, whereas British food seems to exist to prove something, or that the sun kisses Spaniards and slaps the British, or that Spaniards wake up in the morning, look out the window and think, wow, what a glorious day ahead. And the British wake up in the morning, look out the window and think, fuck, fine, okay, let's get this over with. The real difference is still religion. I know some of you might say, well, that is nonsense. I am so liberal, a divine, free-range, organic creature, untouched by culture and history. Really? If you can still remember the theme song of your favorite childhood cartoon, imagine 2000 years of the same tune plus a concert every Sunday. Son 80 días, son 80 nada más. Religion was the ultimate marketing campaign. Kings were brand ambassadors. Every law was the terms and conditions. And heaven, well, the ultimate loyalty program. Religion left a mark in pop culture, just like Harry Potter, right? I mean, if you think about it, Jesus was a lot like Voldemort. Both are cult leaders. Both came back from the dead. Voldemort split his soul into Horcruxes, and God stored his essence into sperm, which is why they hate masturbation. And every time you do, a priest somewhere shudders like a Horcrux just got destroyed. And the prophets, total Death Eaters. They're fanatically loyal, obsessed with robes, and their spells sound just like religious rules. You have Imperius to follow orders, just like the Ten Commandments. Crucio, which is torture, same as celibacy. And the fan favorite, Avada Kedavra, death. Marriage. But if there's one thing to learn from both Jesus and Voldemort, is to avoid meetings with big, long tables. Voldemort left a visible scar on Harry, right? On the forefront. Well, Jesus left an invisible one, existential guilt, that we still have in 2025. And that is my whole point and the main difference between British and Spanish people. Because Protestant and Catholics handle that guilt very differently. British politeness isn't cultural, it's theological. Protestants hoard guilt like pensioners hoard biscuit tins. No release, just eternal emotional constipation. Protestantism doesn't allow you to confess and, wash away your sins. Because Protestantism considers God too pure to speak to. Why? Because you haven't seen him covered on glitter, with incense smoke around, and with half a bottle of altar wine. I'll tell you how confession works, okay? We confess sins like disappearing for months and coming back with a, hey, you up? Then God replies, why do you always do this? Yes, come over. Then we are at God's place, whispering the classic hookup lines. I swear this time is different. I've just been really busy, but you've really been on my mind. You're literally the only one I can tell all this stuff. Flash forward, the deal is done, it's over. God looks at us, eyes full of hope, holding the blanket. What are we even? Then we grab our clothes, hold the door, and hit God with the final gut punch, right? I'm sorry, but I can't do this. You're too good for me. Bye. We leave, and God sits there, blanket wrapped around him, checking if we're still online. Meanwhile, Protestants have no forgiveness shortcut. So they bottle everything up, release it into a 6 p.m. 2-for-1 happy hour cocktail, live politely to avoid accumulating guilt, like a Tesco club card debt, and emotionally restrain themselves because God is always watching, but never answering. Like a 70s father. Every so often, God sends you, a guilt reminder, just like Voldemort. I can touch you now. Maybe that's where priests got the idea. I can touch you now. That's why we have more of a healthy relationship with religion in some way. And we celebrate it like an outdoor festival. Have you ever seen those nightmare-inducing carnival parades? Our Ku Klux Klan couture, our divine drag show, our sorrowful samba, with people walking on tiny steps as if they are holding a turd, carrying giant statues of a ripped and fine Jesus, virgins with perfect skin. It's just like an episode of Love Island. Meanwhile, Protestants don't get a parade. They get ingrained guilt. And it shows in every, no, after you. It's okay, no worries. You actually have to behave because the first time you hear from God is when you're dead. So it's not redemption. It's just you, God, and your browser history. That's why, unlike Spaniards, British have politeness, work ethics, and no day naps. Why are the British so polite, compliant, and reserved? God is always watching and judging, but you cannot talk to him. God is like a disappointed stalker. He's there looking at you. Oh, come on now! God is like a Dementor, going back to Harry Potter, hovering, draining your emotions, like when you are fuming if someone doesn't do the little wave to thank you while you are driving, and you just mutter, unbelievable. That's why passive aggressiveness is Britain's signature move. It's basically your Patronus. Expecto politeness! As a British friend once put it, God makes us emotionally disabled. Funny enough, the main difference between Spanish and English people is religion, and it happened because a guy hated his wife so much that he invented divorce.